Okay, Luke, this is from last week. Christmas really makes it hard to put videos together, but I want you to see this. This is a longer video than normal. I've got a few swings from other kids on here that are side by side, and then I've got some swings of another kid at the very end who's actually, I think, 7. He's small, and you can tell he's a lot smaller, but he has what you want to see in a young athlete, in that he has a lot of energy. You can see that, and he just has a little bit more wiggle, and he's not real stationary. He has to get movement because he's small. He's probably, gosh, he's a lot smaller than you are. You're a big, strong boy. Now, you'll see this kid right here. Now, he's a high school kid. He's a junior this year. And you'll see the difference. I want you to go back and look at a couple things. Go back and look at the same thing. Start from the head down. Look at the head, where his head is when he makes contact. Look at what he's doing with his load. Okay? And then watch where his elbows are. See if his elbows, if his back elbow, his right elbow, comes towards his navel, comes towards his belly button. See if he drops it down right above his hip and he keeps it there. When you're swinging, you've got to learn how to control your arms, and you got to look at what other guys are doing. Now this is that young kid I was telling you about. Now he is smaller, and he tends to kind of throw the hoop. Both of you do at this age, and that's something that's pretty common, but I want you to be aware of it. It is something that's pretty common in young kids, and what it is your right elbow gets too far forward, in front of your hip instead of right above your hip. So what Stephen's doing here is helping you to try to develop some kind of a load. When you load is when the pitcher raises his leg and then he separates his hand. That's when you start to load. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. You need to figure out a way, is when you start getting in the batter's box, you've got to start thinking, okay, I'm ready to compete, and you have a little bit of a wiggle to try to get some motion and movement. Things that tend to stay in motion, they have motion at the beginning. Things that tend to stay stationary are always stationary. They start, if you want something to start stationary, if you want something to stay still, make sure you keep it steady at the beginning. But if you want something to be quick, then have a little bit of a movement going on, just like what you're doing right there. Okay, and what we're trying to do is just get you to get a feel for the movement that you're going to have to get a feel for it. It's kind of like dancing. When the pitcher starts his movement and his move towards home, he has to begin his dance. Tom Seaver was a pitcher back in the 70s and 80s, and he always kind of kept his hands bobbing up and down, just like you'd see a bobber on the lake. It'd be bobbing up and down, and then the next thing you knew, he would start his motion, and then the next thing you knew, the ball was by you. He threw that hard. It's just to help you to get rhythm. I noticed at first, the first part of this, go back and look at this, and watch your feet, watch your hands, watch to see if you have some movement. Now you see this kid can't stay still, and he gets after it. Okay, and he's got some wiggle. Okay, and he squares the ball up, and that's what we're going to be working on. Okay, we'll see you next time.